And we begin with good day, sir.
Geeks come in all shapes and sizes, and that they come into all kinds of things.
I was thinking more about the Satanic Panic.
By the scholar Gary Gygax.
Well, wait, hold on.
I said good day, sir. Not defending Roman slavery by any stretch,
but God, that's bad.
Let them vote. Fuck off.
When historians, and especially British historians, want to get cute.
Oh, it's in there.
Okay.
It is not worth the journey. This is a Geek History of Time,
where we connect nerdery
yes,
into the real world.
Paging Dr. Freud.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Having an 18-month-old means, a lot being pent up is what it means. It means being a little bit...
Who are you?
I'm Ed Blaylock.
I'm keeping this one.
I'm a father. I'm a father of an 18-month-old and a world history teacher here in Northern California. Who the hell are you?
I'm Damian Harmony. I am a father of two and a Latin teacher as well as a world history teacher because I'm just never bored. Never. And so I'm up here in Northern California as well. Last time we spoke yes, of comic books.
Yes. As we frequently do.
Yeah, no kidding. And allegorical, non-authorial intent.
Yes. Our continuing campaign to make the concept of authorial intent basically meaningless in any kind of discussion of any form of literature or media. And so you started us off last time.
I did.
By talking about the X-Men and their relationship to the civil rights movement.
Yes.
And the overt intention of the writers to introduce issues regarding racism, regarding anti-racism, regarding
social justice warrior stuff.
Justice warrior stuff, SJW stuff, directly into the storylines.
Yeah, purposefully and
with intent, and then we then jumped off into then talking about how the X-Men is basically the queerest superhero series there is.
Yeah.
And
that mutants themselves are the queerest group of superheroes.
Yeah.
Like, you've got people who are altered humans.
Yes.
You've got people who are technological wizards.
Yes.
You've got aliens and you've got robots, but you also have mutants. And it seems that mutants tend to be the queerest.
Yeah, well, the allegory is certainly most powerful there.
Yes.
And as I mentioned, the X-Men have been. It might be me overstepping as a cishet white guy to say that the X-Men have been adopted by LGBT geeks. But it was a statement by an author in Gay Star News who did say, if you are queer and you are a comic book fan, then you love the X-Men.
So it resonates.
It
strongly.
resonates very strongly.
Okay.
And I think it has to do with the idea that being a mutant is something that is inborn. It is not something you choose. It is not. Talking about the structure of the hero's journey, there is the call, and then there is the refusal of the call. There is no refusing being a mutant. There is no way to refuse the call. There is no way to choose, not to do that. It's worth noting that in X2, in that great scene where Bobby Drake's family find out he's a mutant, his mother literally looks at him and says, well, have you tried not being a mutant?
Right.
And everybody in the theater has to go, oh.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And that was in the early 2000s.
That was in
came
the
out.
early 2000s, yes.
No, it's funny that you say that, too, because she's essentially telling him there's a closet. Could you try to fit into it?
Could you go in it?
Do you mind? And so while there is no refusing the call of being a mutant, there are a number of characters that, in the very beginning, Angel, there's this wonderful, and I couldn't find the panel, but there's this wonderful panel of, I believe, either Bobby Drake or Hank McCoy, so either Iceman or Beast, helping Angel harness up his wings. and he's helping him from right there behind. He's in his personal space, and they're talking about hiding themselves and how the world will never accept this. And I mean, it is accidentally there.
Yeah,
but it's totally there.
The subtext is really easily.
Yeah.
Again, authorial intent. That was not what they were aiming at.
Right.
Well, depending on what era we're talking about, because I mentioned Byrne, and when he took over writing the X-Men in the late 70s,
right.
He was like, no, you don't understand. No, I can't. Jim Shooter won't let me say they're gay.
Right.
I can't actually have the storyline that I want with Mystique and her lover Destiny actually being the parents of right now I'm forgetting which other character it is.
I want to say Nightcrawler because he's also blue.
Yeah, it was Nightcrawler.
And Azazel maybe. I don't know.
Azazel wound up being the storyline
right.
that Shooter approved was Azazel was the father, Mystique was the mother. The idea had been Mystique was the father because she's a shapeshifter.
Therefore gender fluid.
Yeah. And Destiny was his mother. And Shooter, of course, had his, I mentioned this in the last episode, his stupid blanket no homos policy, which you rightly pointed out was an example of me being presentist. But still, Jim Shooter is a jerk.
Wait,
I'm going to stick with that.
When was it?
That was in 78, 79.
So 78, 79, again.
Byrne, this was Byrne being a bomb thrower.
Right.
But it was very clearly him saying, okay, no, look, if we're going to say they're mutants, let's
go all out.
Make them different, make them look weird, and if they are different, let's make them different in meaningful ways.
And also the X-Men in 78, 79, there's a couple things going on. One, they have come back in 75. Like, they were gone from about 69 to 75.
Yes,
70
it was all reprints.
Right. So they're back, and when they're back in brighter colors.
Yep. Chris Claremont.
Yep.
They're Giant X-Men number 1, 1975.
That's right.
I got my notes back out from last time.
They're international. More importantly, though, they are in a lot of colors, and they're coming out right around the same time that disco is starting to invade the music scene.
Okay.
And I say this because
I'm intrigued with where you're going here.
Yeah, well,
it's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out.
So, first off, there's the character Dazzler.
Well, yeah.
Who is a disco queen.
Yes.
And I don't exactly remember when she pops up first, but I want to say it's late 70s, early 80s. Sounds
about right.
But there was a huge backlash against disco music heading into the early 80s.
Yeah.
It's rare that comic books are a leading indicator. Very often they're a trailing indicator. But it seems to me that the backlash that Shooter had, and again, he's a corporate guy. He's a bean counter.
Yeah.
He
roundly disliked by everybody who had to work for him because apparently he was a tyrant. And,
yeah.
But anyway, that's beside the point.
Right.
I just want to rag on Jim Shooter at every opportunity. Forgive me. Continue.
That's fine. So disco is really, really hitting its stride in the late 70s.
Yeah.
To the point where people start to react against it. You have the blowing up of disco, the death of disco out in Wrigley Field, I want to say it was, or no, Comiskey Park. Which is in Middle America, which is in the Midwest. And if you look at disco itself, it was music that was very
coastal.
much
New York, L.A., probably San Francisco, Bay Area.
Very, very gay. In terms of
flamboyant.
That too.
Very.
But like the gay communities at that time really dug disco.
Okay.
So did African Americans and Latinos on both coasts. So the reaction against it in the Midwest was a white bread, white meat reaction against music that appealed to marginalized communities.
Okay.
So Jim Shooter is Jim Shooter?
Yeah,
okay.
Jim Shooter.
Jim Shooter sounds like he is echoing the sentiment that would then grow through the 80s to hate on disco in the same way that Claremont? No.
Claremont. Chris Claremont restarted the series. Right. It was Byrne. John Byrne.
John Byrne. Thank you. In the same way that John Byrne was trying to, he's like,
push the envelope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in many ways, disco was absolutely that. And it was, again, bi-coastal, multiracial, multisexual, a very sexual way of dancing, a celebration of life at a very dreary time on the margins.
Incredibly dreary.
Yeah.
We talked about how much the 70s sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the margins. So it's interesting to me how comic books were kind of a leading indicator for once in that they were out ahead of these things.
I see. Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying there. So Byrne had all these ideas, had these crazy ass ideas. By the standards of the day.
Right.
Crazy ass. And even by the standards of today, being that overt about this is what literal, physical, biological gender fluidity would mean. I can't even imagine the flame wars that would erupt. In our the Facebook groups that we're both in about Marvel. Yeah. Marvel comics from different eras, the number of people that would find it necessary to jump on. These damn SJWs, like, dude, back off, get out. You clearly don't really know what you're talking about. Right. Get out of here. But I want to get back to talking about North Star.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was originally an Alpha Flight. He was a mutant, but he was an Alpha Flight. He was not part
Canadian.
of the X-Men.
He was not part of the X-Men. But he was originally introduced, again, late 70s. And he was one of John Byrne's babies. He was a John Byrne character.
Okay.
And I may have mentioned that I may be retreading stuff that we went over last time. But I think it's important to note for part of the conversation going forward. John Byrne intended for North Star to be gay, like, from the beginning. Like, from the moment he wrote the character, in his head as the author, this is a gay man.
If nothing else, he's gay coded.
Homosexual. Yeah. Well, what's funny is he wasn't the kinds of things that we would look at as being gay coded. He wasn't necessarily gay coded.
Okay.
But Byrne went to the editorial board and said, these are the characters I'm introducing, and one of them is this guy, North Star.
He's got a sister, Aurora.
He's got a sister, and he's gay. And Shooter went, nope, no homos. That's one of the rules. That's part of the deal. Can't do that. Not doing it. No gay characters. No. All right, fine. Well...
Now, at that same time, by the way, real quick, he'd introduced a character named Box as well, right? Part of Alpha Flight was Box, and Box was a disabled character.
Yeah.
Who then, because of the power armor, was able to walk around. So, Shooter's okay with certain marginalized of society, as long as they're fixing themselves through their stuff.
as long as they're making themselves into being fitting the mainstream mold.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, that's aspirational, and we should be, pushing that kind of idea of, bootstraps, yada, yada. Yeah. What the hell with Shooter? So Byrne was not allowed to say North Star is gay.
Okay.
However, he did everything he could to walk right up to that line. And then get out a stick and start scraping the line into the dirt. One notable example is somebody calls North Star's house.
Okay.
And of course, North Star is a millionaire with a mansion and all
He's an Olympic level skier.
He's an Olympic skier. Yeah. And somebody calls him at home. I think his sister calls him at home, and a guest of North Star's picks up the phone. It's the phone in the pool room, meaning the room with a swimming pool.
Right.
And so the person who picks up the phone is a very attractive, very muscular man in a swimsuit. Or I might not have been in a swimsuit. I don't
just
recall,
a towel,
but a towel wrapped
Yeah.
around his waist. Answering the phone saying, "Yes, this is North Star's residence. He's not. Who can I tell him is calling?" And other kinds of remarks that it's
Sure.
like, you're not going to let us come out and say it, so we're just going to, find other ways to, have the circumstantial evidence pile up until, it's really difficult to ignore.
Right.
And so, but it was hinted at, his orientation was hinted at broadly and repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
He made remarks to his sister about a particular female character. Well, she's not my type.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. And then, but it was never straight up acknowledged.
Okay.
Straight up. Never mind.
I don't get it.
Okay. So Shooter got fired in 1987. And in 1992, Scott Lobdell finally got permission from the editorial board to have North Star actually say, "I am a gay man."
Oh, straight up. Okay. Yeah.
Whatever. I'm done. That's it. Last attempt. I'm not going to try it again. So, now, so in...
But he says, "I'm a gay man."
He said, he just came out and said, I am gay. And this is in Alpha Flight number 106.
Okay.
Now, Alpha Flight has always been kind of a second run, also ran kind of series. Right. That issue sold out in 6 days.
Wow.
Sold out completely. They had to go into a second printing.
Here's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Was it banned anywhere?
Not that I was able to find out.
Okay. That would have been interesting to find out.
It would have been.
This is still under the CCA, right?
Yes, this is still under...
So what year was this again?
In 92.
92. Oh, that's definitely under the CCA.
Oh, yeah. Still under CCA.
92?
Yeah.
I was collecting comics still in 92.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's. I mean, you had Ravage 2099 in 92. I'll show you a picture of it.
Wow.
Yeah. It's garbage.
Oh, yeah. Well,
hot garbage. I loved it, but it's garbage.
So many comics from the early 90s.
Yeah. Guys with long hair and trench coats.
Mullets. Not just long hair. You need to be totally honest about this.
Fair.
It's not just long hair. It was guys with mullets.
Some of them
the mullet was huge.
Some of them were incidental
and many
mullets.
Of the mullets were huge.
Yes, they were.
Dude.
Ooh, and a bunch of people wearing masks that weren't masks.
Masks that weren't really masks.
Yeah.
What was the one guy had a star around his shatter star or something?
Yeah. There's also Long Shot or something. Yeah.
I might be thinking of Long Shot.
Yeah.
But one of those.
He worked for Mojo.
Yeah, what's his name? Can't draw feet. I'm completely forgetting the artist's name. But anyway, crazy, weird nutball stuff happening in comics at that time. So,
wow. And Deadpool came out right around the same time, too.
Yeah.
Who is a character who is, I believe, described as omnisexual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And the writers, I don't know, I haven't gone back and read any of the early Deadpool comics to really see whether that was something that they coded or went there with, but I know, in the last several years they've gone
as far as because they're not paying attention to CCA anymore.
Yeah. So
he comes out as gay in 1992.
Yeah, North Star. Handsome.
Yep.
White.
Yep.
Star athlete.
Yep.
Millionaire.
Yep.
Along with being a mutant and gay.
Yes.
It's kind of like the writers didn't want to push too many buttons at once. Right?
That's at the same time though, it's and this might sound a little dodgy at first, but one of the successes of the Cosby Show was that they were a doctor and a lawyer.
Yeah.
Showing people who are previously marginalized in very mainstream positions.
Yes.
Is a very valid source of representation.
Yeah, well, yeah. So. And a little of column A, a little of column B.
Yeah. By the way, North Star's his name was Jean Baptiste.
I want to say
name?
so, yeah.
His sister's name was Jean Marie.
Yeah.
Or Jean Marie.
Jean,
But it's basically they're twinsies.
Yeah.
So they have roughly the same name. But I did find it interesting that they both, of course, they're twins, but they both looked alike. So, I mean, from the very beginning, there were
these hints going on. Yeah. Now, it took 20 years for North Star and his longtime partner to get married.
You don't want to rush into these things.
Yeah, but in 2012, they did, and it was the first depiction of a gay wedding in comics. And an awful lot had changed in public perception of homosexuality in that time.
Oh, God, yeah.
Last episode, talking about the AIDS crisis, talking about the increase in representation and how the HIV epidemic kind of forced activism onto the gay community.
Yeah.
Because it was either stand up and get our rights or just keep dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by 2012, homosexuality had been normalized to a really great degree.
Yeah.
I don't want to fall into the trap of saying, well, when we solved that problem, because we hadn't at all. Yeah. But by that time, drug cocktails had turned HIV from a death sentence into a chronic but controllable medical condition.
If you have health care.
If you have health care, yeah.
Well, if there's only a way to solve that for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, well. One for the ages.
Yeah.
And it is notably in 2012 that public support for recognition of gay marriage first hit a majority. According to Gallup, that was the first year it hit 53% support.
It tipped.
Gay characters on television, and I know I mentioned this last episode, had gone from being one-note jokes, talking about the gay panic jokes in Friends, to being the leads in their own series. Think of Ellen, think of Will and Grace.
Yeah.
And just the manner in which homosexual relationships and homosexual characters
were just normal,
were being portrayed, and it was just that's them,
right?
That's just who they are.
And it's not even they're down the hall; they're the main characters, and it's a normal relationship, and not like, oh, let's play that for laughs. Let's look at what makes relationships funny, and play. Yeah, I'm thinking about with Ellen. She came out. I remember I watched the episode where she came out, and then they had one more season, and then they were done.
Yeah.
But Will and Grace, the very basis of it was
the premise was
he was
around Will's
homosexuality. He was the manic pixie dream gal.
Yeah, he was he was.
Sassy gay friend.
Yeah, I actually had but he wasn't that sassy. That was the interesting thing about Will in Will and Grace. The TV tropes term for Will is straight gay.
Yep.
Which is not camp gay, not flamboyant, fabulous, any of that stuff.
Right.
None of those stereotypes. He was, very well put together. But until he introduced you to his date for the evening, you wouldn't realize that he was gay.
Right.
And it was Jack in that series.
Oh, yeah.
Who played the pardon my use of the term, but I can't think of anything else right now, but kind of the twinkle toes stereotype.
The sissy.
The sissy boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even when the joke was centered on Jack, the joke wasn't punching down at Jack. The joke was that Jack is a narcissist.
Right.
It was about how shallow he was, or how.
Yeah, it's not that gay was his personality. Yeah. It's that he's gay, and also here are his personality flaws. Yeah. Aren't these funny?
Yeah,
it's very different.
Yeah. Profoundly different.
So that was Will and Grace, and that was in the early 2000s.
I want to say.
Yeah.
I know it's after. Are you still doing the research on Friends?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
So I know it's post early Friends, but I'm trying to, off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly where in the early 2000s it was.
Sure.
But it is an artifact of the 21st century.
Yeah.
And it's a very powerful reminder of how our attitudes have changed toward this particular marginalized community.
Well, and it goes to show that representation abso-fucking-lutely matters.
Yeah.
Because if they're in your sitcoms, they're in your living room on a weekly basis. They're part of your family. Exactly.
Yeah. It's also worth noting, while we're talking about this, just occurred to me, this isn't anything I had in my notes, but in the last season, most recent season, of Grey's Anatomy.
Is that still going?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're about to start season 16.
Wow. Are they just trying to hang on to beat ER? Is that what's going on?
No, they're still doing well enough in ratings that they're making money on it. And Ellen Pompeo isn't ready to quit yet.
All right. So Grey's Anatomy is now referring to their pubic hairs.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Hers anyway. Yeah, no, there are, but it's worth it's in the context of what we're talking about here. It's worth noting that there are a pair of interns who are in a relationship and are having significant relationship issues built around their personalities, built around one of them being kind of a shy, retiring nebbish, and another one being a totally cocky, arrogant, go-get-it, orthopedic surgeon, resident. And they are two gay men.
Okay.
And all of the drama in their relationship is built around their emotional drama, not around, oh, look at these two over-emotional sissy boys.
Right.
No, it's no. They have a connection, but they are very different people.
Yeah.
And
fully fleshed out characters.
Yeah, and they're fully fleshed out characters.
Okay.
And they're a significant subplot, or a notable thread, one of multiple soap opera kind of storyline threads going on. They're a notable, valid, important one. My mother's soap opera, Days of Our Lives, which you want to talk about a long runner. Yeah, has been going on since the 50s.
Yeah.
In one form or another.
It's a really big hourglass.
Yeah, really, really big hourglass. I'm both impressed and a little horrified that you just randomly knew that particular reference out of that.
I even know the music.
It would be hard not to. If you grew up in a household where anybody watched it, even if you can't immediately say, "Oh, that's Days of Our Lives," you'll be like, "Oh wait, I know that."
Yep.
There's an overwrought emotional situation about to happen here. Somebody's about to be kidnapped by aliens. What's going on? But there are now a significant number of characters on that show who are gay. Now, it's interesting to note that they are almost all cis gay men.
Okay. So
we're still not seeing a lot of trans representation, or I don't think any trans representation. We're not seeing a lot of genderqueer, gender neutral.
Right. You're seeing your standard but it's gay.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Heteronormative, but gay.
It's take the same heteronormative plot line, you say, but it's two guys.
Right. Now, I want to go back because we're talking about TV. Yeah. In the late 70s, early 80s,
yes,
Billy Crystal was on a TV show called Soap.
God, that was a brilliant fucking show.
So good. I wish it was on a streaming service that I subscribed to. But he was on it.
I'm invisible. My father still quotes that to this day.
We always did. No one calls El Puerco a dog.
Yeah. Whoever the writers were for that show were amazing.
But Billy Crystal was gay.
Yes,
he played a gay character. I believe he was the first gay character on TV who was a regular character. Because I remember there was an episode of MASH where there was a guy who got beat up by his platoon because he was gay. But Billy Crystal played a regular occurring main character who was gay, and that was again at the same time that Jim Shooter was saying no homo.
Yeah.
So it just kind of I forgot that existed. And then you also had Bosom Buddies, which was poking at that, but it clearly wasn't. But also Jack Tripper was pretending to be gay. So you've got a long history of gay being in the lexicon, but now it's front and center and normalized. And that's different
to an extent, but it's worth noting. One of my favorite phrases when we're recording. It's worth noting that Ritter's character and his interactions with the landlord, were all built around gay panic jokes.
Yes, they were. You're absolutely right.
Now, and that actually goes back to older ideas of sexual morality. About you got a dude in a bedroom in an apartment with two women, so it's the three of them. They have to be up to something,
right?
So in order, I'm not gonna allow that to be happening,
right?
So no, there's none of that hanky panky going on because I'm gay, so obviously that can't be happening. Never mind the fact it might not be happening anyway. But it's yes, they were, the idea of gayness was there,
right?
But it was being used as fodder for, like you were talking about,
absolutely,
for those gay panic jokes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Hey, Geek Nation, this is Ed.
And Damian. Hey, what you got there?
I got a copy of The Stolen by my good friend Bishop O'Connell.
He is a Norwegian wedding cake creator?
No, he is not.
Oh.
He is an urban fantasy writer, a member of the Science Fiction Writers of America.
Oh, wow. So that looks like it says 1 of 3.
Yes. Well, it's the first volume of an American fairy tale. The other 2 volumes are The Forgotten and The Returned.
Nice. What's it's a fairy tale. Does that mean there's a lot of Celtic and Irish folklore in there?
A very great deal, yes. The first novel actually involves the characters traveling to Tir na Nog.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, I remember that from Titanic.
There you. Good day, sir.
And with that, back to the show. And we're back.
All right. So, but we're here to talk about comic books. We've as we do, we've gotten off on this on this long tangent. But so
North Star gets married in 2012.
North Star gets married in 2012, and this is, like you say, comics are a trailing indicator
usually.
And in this case, I think it's a very closely trailing indicator of this broader acceptance within society as a whole of the idea that being gay is normal.
Right.
And the next real interesting from a social justice perspective, from a social movement perspective, the next storyline that I want to mention before I go into really talking about Bobby Drake.
Okay.
Because I'm going to end by talking about Bobby Drake in
nice.
detail. But there's a really important moment in Amazing X-Men number 17. That's a moment between North Star.
Okay.
And another young mutant named Anoli.
Okay, now real quick, this is Amazing X-Men number 17. This is in the 2000s.
Yes, this is since North Star got married.
Okay, so this is since 2012.
I want to say it's 2015.
Okay,
off the top of my head,
it's fairly recent.
It's within the last 5 years.
Well, as of this recording, it's only a year ago.
Yeah. Nice.
We record these out of sequence.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And so Anoli is he takes his name from the fact that he looks like a lizard. He has scaly skin. He has claws.
I'm still not, and I'm the Latin guy, so I'm feeling a little.
Anoli lizards?
No, I don't know.
Okay. My phone is borked, but if you want to look it up, it's a species of lizard. An Anoli lizard. Anole.
Okay.
And so he's a member of the new X-Men.
Okay.
And he's a representative of the kind of mutant that Chris Claremont introduced in the 70s, which is to say, he looks like a lizard. He cannot pass.
Can't pass. Yeah, I see what you're saying as far as these lizards go. They're very bright green. They have a crest that comes down off their neck. It's kind of pinkish.
Yeah.
And they're tiny.
Kind of related to geckos.
Okay. They look like a gecko is trying to look like an alligator or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an Anole.
That's a good,
All right, odd. It's kind of digging deep for mutant superpowers, but really, at the same time, what you're talking about here is, because now I'm starting to remember other characters as well, almost all of their powers manifested in a way that was, like you said, impossible to pass.
Yeah, well, when...
And that becomes their identity. Instead of their power, it's more their outward appearance.
Yeah, and now I'm completely blanking. BioSteel Colossus. When Colossus manifests his powers, there's no way. There's no way to mistake. He's a mutant.
But he can.
He can.
Yeah.
He fold back in.
Right.
But there are other. Nightcrawler obviously
can't pass.
Kitty Pryde
can pass. Unless she activates her power.
Unless she activates her power.
You go forward into the time where you've got Anole. There's a character that was named Darwin. There was a character that was named. There were a lot of lizardy characters.
Reptilian.
And there was somebody who her name was Armor or something like that. And she turned into like gelatinous armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
a lot of not passing.
So a lot of not passing going on.
Okay.
And he winds up Anole winds up he has a date.
Okay.
And he gets lured away from the school by somebody who says they're romantically they want to meet up with him.
Yeah.
And he winds up being victimized by a mind-bending mutant who preys on his insecurities.
Okay.
And in the midst of trying to deal with all that, it's a longer story that I'm going to get into. But North Star shows up.
Okay.
And says to him, "Hey, look, I understand what you're going through. I'm gay." And it only tells him to pound sand. Because he says, "No, you don't understand anything. You're a millionaire. You're pretty.
Right.
Everybody loves you. Look at me."
Right.
People look at me and they wonder if I'm slimy.
Right.
You cannot, there is no way for you to understand my problem just because we both happen to like boys. Right. And I'm paraphrasing and simplifying. But, it's bringing the idea of intersectionality now.
Nice.
Into the conversation because, it's one thing for well-off, middle-aged, established white gay men to be talking about, we understand it gets better, and I don't want to denigrate efforts to try to help people, right? But there has been a greater amount of there's been more talk from intersectional people within the LGBTQ community saying, okay, look, yes, we're both gay, but I'm gay and Hispanic or black or disabled or fill in the blank. Yeah. Or trans. Yeah. And so, it's one thing to express empathy. It's one thing to express your support, and that's appreciated. Right. But by the same token, shut the fuck up and listen.
Yeah, you were in those first two letters. Y'all got to be around for a while. Yeah, we just got added to the list.
Yeah. And and by erasure, getting a bigger profile. People saying, okay, no, look, I'm bisexual, and that doesn't mean I'm confused, and it doesn't mean I'm passing, and it doesn't mean I'm
a tourist or whatever.
And so this is now the writers having dealt with the subtext, or having originally had the subtext, seeing that the LGBTQ community took subtext that hadn't always been intentional and adopted it and said, no, man, we're running with it. Right. Now saying, okay, we see you. Wow. And acting on it. And I think that's a remarkable development.
And I love that Anole is also a kid.
Yeah. Teenager.
Yeah. Because again, as a high school teacher, it's been amazing to see how, because I've been at the same site for 14 years. Okay. And when I first got there, we had a thing called Day of Silence. And what it was anybody who wanted to could do it. And I remember the reaction of teachers to it too, and I'll explain that in a second. But essentially, Day of Silence there was a specific day where any queer student who wanted to would participate, as well as any allies. At that time, the word ally wasn't really in the
lexicon.
Yeah, not just yet. But they basically wore tape over their mouths to protest the fact that violence toward gay individuals, LGBTQ individuals, and back then I think it was just LGB. Maybe T was working its way in there. I don't know if it had gotten to the Central Valley yet.
Have to look, but
like they were protesting that violence toward them largely went unreported and was largely ignored when reported. And the reaction of teachers, it was interesting. It very much split along the generation line, but not always. The reaction of teachers, some teachers were like, if I call on a kid and they don't answer, I'm taking off points. That's just how it goes. That's part of a protest. And I get that. I disagree with it, but I get it. And then there were other teachers who were like, no, dude, like we're going to find a non-talky activity to do that day. And some teachers were like, well, wait, doesn't that kind of take away from what their protest is? And it was interesting arguments. One teacher had, on that same day, she had her club offer something called the Day of Truth, where they offered pizza to kids who would come and listen to the Day of Truth on the same day of the Day of Silence. It was really gross. It was called the Fish Club, and there was also a Christian club. There were two different Christian clubs, which I'm all for, schisms. But they...
Well, that's, Judean People's Front of Judea hate each other more than they hate the Romans.
Right. No, they still hated on the gays, though.
Obviously. We all hate the Romans.
Right. Yeah, good point. But they would have, that was that teacher's reaction. Yeah. And so over time, over 14 years...
I'd be really interested to find out what fucking truth that woman was trying to get at.
I believe she was quoting the red text, but not listening to the red text. Heresy.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Carry on.
So then that was in the beginning, and then as time went on, the administrators were basically having to counsel us on how to deal with it, and they were basically kind of laissez-faire about it, just leave them alone. It's good. It's fine. It's good. And then it turned to how do we support this? And the kids were kind of leading the charge. One kid, she built a doorway and basically said, this is the closet. Anybody who wants to walk out of it is welcome to. And a lot of us teachers actually walked through in support and stuff like that. It was really cool. And then now it's gotten to the point where, there are, I'm not going to say as many as not, but in our hallways, and we were high school, so kids are always kissing on each other and hugging on each other. And nobody bats an eye at the fact that, and if they do bat an eye, they shut up about the fact that same-sex couples are doing it too. Which is it's been a really cool 14-year growth.
Thing to see.
But these are teenagers that we're talking about. They're on the forefront of figuring out sexuality because that's when they figure out sexuality. And to have Anoli be a teenager doing it, that's very well done. Very prescient. So, sorry, I digress.
So, no. It's an important digression. It's a good one. So that's leading up to the capstone of my thesis, which is talking about Bobby Drake.
I love me some Bobby Drake. By the way, he has been one of my favoriteest superheroes forever.
Okay.
I don't like fire. I do like ice. When I play D&D, I stay away.
Ice sorcerer. I noted that right away. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I've always liked cold weather over hot weather.
Weird flex, but okay.
When I watched Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, I loved Iceman more than I liked Spidey or Firestar.
All right.
He was cool, man.
Well, literally.
Yes.
And, liking him better than Firestar, I totally get. Liking him better than Spidey, this just proves that you're weird.
Yeah, probably.
But
I've always loved Bobby Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always loved him.
And he is a founding member of the X-Men.
Yep. Always pissed me off in the Marvel TSR game that he was wildly underpowered as far as his health went.
Really?
Yeah.
He was Glass Hammer?
Yeah, Ice Hammer, but
hits real hard, breaks like fine china?
Yeah. Okay. He was probably 14 points higher than Mr. Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, it just I'll show you the stats.
Right. Okay.
It was disappointing.
You know what? Don't. The less I have to do with that game, the better. So she's one of the original X-Men.
Yes.
Lee did not intend Bobby Drake to be gay.
No.
The writers of the original series portrayed him, as they did Scott Summers, Hank McCoy, and Warren Worthington II, as being straight, white, suburban young men.
The third.
Oh, the third?
He's Warren Worthington the third.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah. I mistyped. You're right. The allegory they had in mind.
Sorry, I just love that I had to correct you on the genealogy of the Worthington family.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, of any character was going to be gay out of those, I would have picked Angel.
You would have thought Angel, wouldn't you?
Because he was the ladies' man.
He
really was. And he was poncy. Yeah. So he kind of fit the 60s idea of gay.
60s idea, yeah. You'd think. But apparently not.
Yeah.
So the allegory they had in mind when they were creating these characters was, again, for racism. And in the 60s, I'd be surprised to find out anybody would even take seriously the idea of trying to bring homosexual equality into the equation on any level.
Yeah.
Because in the 60s, that was still so far outside of any kind of mainstream attention, any kind of mainstream notice.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned in the last episode, we don't see any kind of movement really capturing any level of the public imagination for homosexual rights until Stonewall.
Yeah, and that's 68. Yeah. So that's well after.
Yeah. So Bobby wound up having a number of straight relationships. None of them lasted. Without getting too far into the weeds, they frequently ended disastrously.
Oh, was he just bad?
Not only for him, but sometimes for the universe.
Oh.
Okay. In X2, Bobby has a coming out scene to his parents. I mentioned this earlier.
Now, this is the movie.
Yeah, this is the 2003 X-Men movie.
And he's dating Rogue in the movie.
Yes, he is dating Rogue.
And he's trying to figure out how to have sex with her.
Yeah.
Like, he has that talk with Wolverine, too.
Trying to figure out how do we make this work.
Yeah.
And so in X2, he has this coming out scene to his parents with his father, this is taken from canon. His father reacts angrily.
Right.
His father is pissed. And his mother, again, painfully and kind of hilariously at the same time, asking, have you tried not being a mutant?
Right.
Like, that's not, you don't understand how this works.
Right.
And the subtext there is another case of it barely being a subtext at all.
Right.
Enter time-traveling Bobby Drake in all new X-Men in the last
few years, yeah.
In issue number 40 of all new X-Men, Jean Grey, who has also traveled from the past. So past Bobby, Jean, and other characters.
One of the problems the X-Men has always had is time travel and going to space.
Yeah.
It's like, you've got enough shit going on here.
Why do you have to do this?
Why are you doing... Okay,
well, okay, so
they time traveled again.
Modern day Cyclops went bad.
Yes, he did.
And so somehow
somebody killed Professor X.
Yeah, and somehow somebody brought Bobby and Jean
from the past.
I think Cyclops from the past
forward. Okay.
As some kind of way to solve the issue. Okay. So anyway, we have young, still teenager Bobby Drake, still teenager Jean Grey. Okay. So in issue number 40, young Jean discovers through telepathy and then reveals, kind of blurts it out, that Bobby is gay.
Okay.
Time displaced, still a teenager from the 60s, Bobby argues with her.
Right.
Like, no, I'm not. Don't stop saying that. Knock that off. And she's like, well, no. The longer the longer you're thinking about it, the more, no. You need to face this. And she's trying to be supportive and she's trying to be helpful.
Okay.
And there's a great kind of discussion about this isn't what gives you the right as a telepath to go digging around in my head, finding this out, and then trying to force me into this,
Right.
And she means well, but still there are these issues of consent and all this stuff going on. And so eventually he winds up admitting that, I'm gay, but I don't want to be gay and a mutant at the same time because I already have to deal with enough shit.
Right.
And at least being a mutant means I have a bitchin' superpower. like people are going to hate me for being a mutant, but if they just hate me for being a mutant, that's only one thing.
Okay.
And I can at least use my powers to help people, and, it's awesome. I'm a superhero.
Right. And he's a fairly unique superhero, by the way. Yeah. Having cryokinesis is not something that hardly any other character has.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I can't think of any.
Well, Frozone, but that's The Incredibles. And
it doesn't count. Different. And in DC, you had Mr. Freeze,
who's a villain,
right?
And needs to use a gun, has to use tech for it,
right? So he basically has access to Freon. Yeah. But
like super Freon.
Yeah.
Like
true.
Like liquid nitrogen can't do the stuff Mr. Freeze can do. But
true. But like Bobby Drake is the only cryokinetic that I can think of, and where that's his main power. Like there might be others who are elementalists of some sort, and they can call in the cold, or like Storm can call in a blizzard, but it's not cryokinesis.
It's not. Yeah. It's not straight up. No. I freeze stuff.
Right.
Like
yeah.
And so young Bobby talks to older Bobby, and older Bobby reevaluates his own history and admits to himself he's been suppressing his sexuality and trying to overcompensate all these years for the very reasons that young Bobby mentions.
Right.
Like, I didn't want to be a mutant and gay at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, this is not... It was bad enough to be one and have my father have this tension, this distance, and this... And you know, Bobby has had daddy issues forever because he was a mutant, and it was like, you know, how much worse would it be if I told him, oh yeah, and by the way, I also like guys, you know, you know, working class dad that he has, that would be a thing. And so he sublimated his insecurities into trying to be the best X-Man he could, while hiding that facet of his identity, like closeting himself so deeply that he wasn't even acknowledging it to himself.
Pathologizing himself.
Yeah. Now, this is a retcon. This is...
Yeah, I mean, you have time travel. You have him interacting with his future self, which apparently is okay. And
it's Marvel.
Meanwhile, Cyclops is in prison, so the other Cyclops is there, but Professor X is still dead. And Jean Grey has power, doesn't have power, has power again. Yeah. She's not dead. She's not the Phoenix yet. The Phoenix has already flown. Like, how fucking confusing. The Bobby Drake part is probably the easiest part to understand.
Yeah.
So,
even though it creates a massive paradox.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So, but
it is a retcon.
It's a retcon. It is the queen mother of retcons, and it's the kind of retcon that gives comic store gatekeepers fits. Why'd they have to make him gay? Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The subtext was unintentional, but it was always there. He couldn't make a straight relationship work.
True.
He was deeply insecure because of his father's rejection.
Right.
And he was constantly trying to overcompensate because of that.
Yeah.
This retcon is one that makes perfect sense after you think about it for a minute. It's a retcon that feels less like a retcon and more like the twist at the end of a suspense movie.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Like, okay, no, I didn't see that. But now that I've seen that, everything else falls into place.
Bruce Willis never did talk to his mom.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. The guy who started the Pray Away camp was gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a retcon that recognizes the role the franchise has played in the lives of LGBTQ nerds for decades.
So it's a meta retcon.
It's a meta retcon.
That's cool.
It mirrors the way society at large has come to acknowledge and normalize the presence and participation of queer people in society.
And specifically a child leading it again. A teenager leading it again. Yeah.
On the personal scale, it mirrors the narrative of being in the closet and limiting yourself. On the historical social scale, it mirrors society realizing that gay people have been here forever.
Yeah.
Bobby was one of the founding X-Men, and now we realize he was gay all along.
Okay.
And since he has had this revelation,
this might answer a question that's percolating in my head, so go. Yeah. Since he
has had this realization, he has been recognized as being an Omega-level mutant.
That's what I was going to ask. Did he unlock his potential after the fact?
Yes. His personal potential was being spent on
bottling.
Not on bottling things up and on not recognizing who he was, not being comfortable with who he was, being in denial of who he was. And now, like in the last couple of years, he's actually managed to regenerate body parts after, when he turns into ice.
Sure.
And he's lost a hand, he
loses a hand and it comes back.
He's able to, reform it.
Okay.
He's been able to create ice constructs that have an independent volition of their own. Like he can create. You've seen Frozen, obviously. You have to have seen Frozen. You know, Olaf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, think Olaf. Think the abominable snowman.
He made a giant reindeer.
Castle.
Yeah.
So Olaf.
Yeah.
Has his own. He was a creation of Elsa's essentially subconscious.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And has his own.
Has his own mind.
Existence. Yeah. Bobby Drake is doing that now. Like he'll create a golem essentially out of ice. And that is now autonomous and can move off on its own. Wow. One of those characters actually became a supporting character and is a member of a secondary X-Men team.
That reminds me of Multiple Man.
Yeah.
Whose name I forget, but he creates multiple versions of himself. Basically, if you hit him, he turns into two. You hit one, it turns. He hydras out. And he runs for a while at least, he ran a private eye agency, which is perfect job for him. But he he called all of himself back, and he can absorb them all, and then he gets all their experiences, right? But they have to decide whether or not they want to. Yeah. Like there's a level of autonomy there, and like one of them was like Cain and walking the earth, and he comes back, he's like, no, I kind of want to keep living my life, but you need this, so okay. But like nice. There's all kinds of personalities. So he's not quite doing that, but he is creating, like you said, golems who are autonomous and able to go and decide and do their own thing.
Yeah. And so we come. I don't want to say full circle, but we've now come, at least for the purposes of this episode, to where we are on this arc, with this founding member of the X-Men having now been recognized as having been a member of the LGBTQ community all along. And having now the capacity, now that he knows that, having the capacity to become that much more powerful. And so the storylines now are, we have a gay character who is not, and also ran part of Alpha Flight, he's Canadian, it's great, he's gay, whatever.
Thanks for your inclusion, your diversity hire. Thank you for
your inclusion, diversity hire, bullshit.
Right.
No, this is Bobby Drake.
Right, a central character.
A central character from day one of the whole franchise, who not only had this revelation, had this realization, but has now become possibly the most powerful member of the X-Men.
Right.
Wow. What has Cyclops got to compare to that?
Other than incredible neck muscles.
Okay.
Because to create the amount of force that it takes to destroy buildings, equal and opposite reaction.
Equal and opposite. Yeah, okay.
So his neck muscle, that's his real power.
That's really what it is. Yeah. That and his, that explains why his neck is frequently so stiff.
Yes. And he's such a goddamn zealot.
Yeah.
So
there's always rag on Scott Summers' night.
My brother will not like this. Bowie is a huge Scott Summers stan, and he's got good reasons, and he should get a chance to defend them.
On another episode, maybe if he wants. If he wants to record,
that'll be good. It'll be an apologetic episode. I'll do Lando. He'll do Scott Summers. You'll talk about how the orcs don't deserve to live. It'll be good. Okay, so Bobby Drake is out. I'm still coming back to the fact that he's making autonomous Frozens, because isn't that kind of what flyover state middle white America was always afraid of?
They're going to turn all our kids gay.
They're going to make more of themselves.
Yeah, which it's funny.
It belies the total lack of understanding of genetics,
or procreation.
Right.
Like, no, you don't understand. It's not actually.
They're the least likely to have children.
But their actual fear, of course, was that homosexuality is like being a Moonie.
Right.
There
was a. So I have a series, a 5 DVD series, and it's called like Mental Hygiene or something like that. Well, one of the ones that's on there is You'll Never Know When the Homosexual Is About. and it's straight up. It's oh my god, it's the guy from Lost. Did you ever watch Lost?
Yeah.
Sawyer's dad was a young teenager who was then being followed and shadowed by tan trench coat, fedora, pencil neck, pencil nose, pencil mustache, pencil neck, pencil nose, in between.
I had a pencil thin mustache.
But and it says you'll never know when the homosexual is about. Like, it was like super gay panic, and not for laughs. It was this was the teacher's sick, so we're going to bring in the projector reel and show you and demonize homosexuals. Yeah.
Wow.
So just they were right, because look what Bobby Drake is doing.
Yeah, and that was back, I'm assuming, in the 50s or early 60s.
Yeah.
So, all the teen suicides that led to were just, it's background noise, teenagers.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Must be reefer.
Yeah, must be.
Yeah.
Or communists.
Yep.
Somehow.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing.
So Bobby Drake left all that behind.
Yeah.
And accepted himself.
Yeah.
And now
And now you never know when he's about.
Yes. Damn. So we took the X-Men from, they were intentionally dealing with the social justice issue of the day, and here on the other end, they're intentionally dealing with the social justice issue of the day.
Yeah.
And in between, they kept accidentally rolling a 20 every time.
Yeah.
Like, they kept getting it.
Yeah.
Without
always meaning to.
Right. Yeah. And the times where they meant to, they were stymied, and they still found a way.
And they still figured out a way. And, there have been, we're largely being kind of hagiographic here, but there have been times where stuff has fallen flat and been...
Oh, I've never really liked the X-Men as a series, to be honest. There are certain characters that I find interesting. There's certain storylines that I was like, oh, that's good. But by and large, they were... And it was because they always went to space and always did time travel-y shit. I was like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
No, it's not cool.
I've been a Wolverine fanboy basically forever.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On all those polls, everybody always asks you, what superpower would you want?
Yeah.
Every single time, I want regeneration.
Is this so you can drink and not get drunk?
Well, see, here's the thing. Partly.
Yeah.
But mostly it's just, no, I was raised wrapped in bubble wrap.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm an only child.
Right.
And I was a month and a half premature. I was born a twin.
Gotcha.
I didn't grow up a twin.
Gotcha.
Because, so I was overprotected, wrapped in bubble wrap.
Yeah.
And that has left me ever since wanting to be fearless.
I could see that.
And Wolverine was for good reason utterly whatever, I don't care, whatever the power is that you're going to throw at me, I really don't give a rat's ass.
It's so funny because the power I always wanted was teleportation.
Okay.
And I always loved Nightcrawler.
Okay.
Always.
Yeah.
And he couldn't pass for shit.
Yeah.
Like, he clearly looked odd and different, and...
Well, look at the haircut they gave Wolverine. He didn't really pass for much of anything, really.
True. True.
And his social habits made him,
Yeah.
mad, bad, dangerous to know, and completely socially unacceptable. But
they accidentally and intentionally, and when they couldn't intentionally, they snuck it in anyway.
Yeah.
All throughout their run. They remind me of
God, I wish comics would just, get back to telling stories and not do all this social justice warrior
so
bullshit.
Much nicer.
So much better.
Since, do they really need to be Antifa?
Why?
Why?
God almighty.
Why can't you just talk nicely to the Red Skull and Arnim Zola and Baron Zemo?
And, work things out in the marketplace of ideas.
That would be great.
That would be great.
That's what the Punisher does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just saying, I don't like the Dodgers. I never will. I've always hated the Dodgers, and I know that you're a Padres fan because you're from San Diego.
Well, and I'm a glutton for punishment. So
there's
that too.
Well, and I'm a Giants fan, so I'm also a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, well,
and that's why we had a good run there, and then because San Francisco fans are assholes. I was glad when the Giants started losing again. I'm much more comfortable now that they're losing.
The world makes more sense.
I'm so much less stressed. It's so much better. But I've never been a Dodgers fan, but I cannot deny the amount of forefront vanguard social justice that the Dodgers organization fought for.
Yeah.
Now, the current owners and the previous owners are horrible human beings. But historically, I should have the Dodgers as my favorite team if that kind of shit matters to me. And it does, because like I found out recently that the owner of the Giants is a total dillbag. And I'm like, all right, the whole team is benched until they sell it. And I don't mind that. But like, you know, I still fucking hate the Dodgers. And I feel the same way with the X-Men. I don't hate them, but I always like, if there's a stack of comics, they will be at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not interested in the X-Men, but I so obviously should be, because they're doing such important stuff.
Yeah, well, you know, it's
the Fantastic Four would be underneath them.
Yeah,
just, you know.
Yeah, but they're your broccoli.
Yeah.
The thing is, broccoli has a lot of redeeming qualities.
It does.
All the redeeming qualities. But as good as it is for you, it's not as enjoyable as a double cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Or in
for normal folk, because for me, broccoli is goddamn where it's at. Oh, okay. It really is. All right. But yes, I totally understand the metaphor. No, I really like oatmeal too.
All right. Yeah. I
don't know what to do. I get you. I know. But I get what you're saying. Yeah. Like they are what is good about comics.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're very good comics.
Well, because in a lot of the ideas, like the really big ideas that they had about, you know, themes, thematically, it's amazing.
Right.
But they've spent an awful lot of time on the boots on the ground level in terms of writing, doing a lot of derivative stuff.
Yes.
Doing a lot of stuff that was like, who was the alien invasion?
The Brood?
The Brood.
Yes.
It was like, oh, hey, this alien movie is making all kinds of money. This is popular. We got to do our own version of this. Oh, hey, wait.
They'll fight the
X-Men. Got it. We'll use the X-Men. Like, you know, could you do it? You know, S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
How about S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
Well, S.H.I.E.L.D. has the Skrulls. Everybody has the Skrulls.
Right.
But,
right.
You know, you know, well, you know, but they're not shapeshifters. No, the thing is they're like a parasite. Like, yeah. Okay, great. By the way, whole storyline came out in the 80s, the height of the Cold War. I'm just saying, you know, parasites taking over the brain, communism, anybody.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Okay.
No.
So, but yeah, no, the storylines, the themes are awesome. The individual storylines too often are fakakta.
It's kind of like being a parent.
Yeah.
The days are short, or the days are long, but the years are short.
Yeah.
Like, you look back going, man, what wonderful coolness. I just watched your kid for 4 hours, and it reminded me of such wonderful memories that I don't ever want to relive. And I loved watching your boy. Don't get me wrong. That wasn't the problem. It was just like, oh my God, I remember doing this and not enjoying it at all.
Yeah, not having any sleep.
And yet I did totally enjoy it. And I do enjoy having done it, but it's absolutely that. Yeah. Like, I completely understand that.
Right. So now that we've waxed rhapsodic, or whatever the opposite of rhapsodic is, about
quixotic,
quixotic, what's your takeaway to wrap all this up, bring us home? What is your takeaway from this conversation that we've had this evening?
The X-Men were far more intentional than the Fantastic Four were in their social commentary.
Okay.
The X-Men, I think, were an intrinsically better book than the Avengers and or the Fantastic Four, and yet I don't like them more than I like the Avengers. I think the Avengers is a way better book, but the X-Men intrinsically does better for society.
Okay.
And I think that's okay. It's kind of like when people ask me who the best baseball player ever was, I've got a few answers. But they ask me my favorite, and it's never who the best was. And I think the X-Men might be like that for me. They are one of the best comic books because of what they tried to do on purpose, and what they succeeded in doing, and how they are continuing to constantly do it. But they're by no means one that I would pick up and enjoy. Okay. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be my takeaway.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, since we're talking books,
yes,
a book that I would like to recommend this week it's called The Physics of Superheroes.
Oh, nice.
By a man named James Kakalios.
Okay.
I'm probably butchering his name.
All right.
But he is a physics teacher or professor.
Okay.
And there was a whole slew of books that came out around the same time. The Philosophy of and the Physics of, several different books. But the Physics of Superheroes is wonderful because it's you could read one chapter at a time and learn a bit about physics. He talks about the physics of being a speedster, of being Quicksilver or being the Flash, and what that would really mean. He talks about the physics of Cyclops' neck. Actually,
nice.
He talks about that, and he gets into the physics of how you could do this or this or this thing, and it was a really good read.
All right, nice.
So, about you?
I'm still working my way through How the Scots Invented the Modern World. By Arthur Herman. Subtitled The True Story of How Western Europe's Poorest Nation Created Our World and Everything in It, which is an example of chauvinism if ever I've heard one. But he does make a compelling case of the importance of the Scottish Enlightenment to the foundations of what we refer to as the modern Western world.
Okay.
And, as somebody who points up that aspect of my heritage above many of the others, it's an entertaining read, and it's a good, thoughtful but still popularly written.
Okay.
If that's a meaningful phrase.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. It's accessible.
History. Yeah, it doesn't require. It makes one think, but it doesn't require you to be spending too much time parsing exactly what it is a particular paragraph meant. Say it. Just, I see you.
So it's written in such a way that even a Scotsman could understand it.
Aye. Right. Tez, as a matter of fact.
Well, cool. Sounds fun, and it's not the first time you've plugged it, so
no.
You are...
Yeah,
you're enjoying it. Yeah.
Parenthood means I don't have nearly as much time to actually devote to reading for fun as I'd like, but it is very much worth the time. It's a good read.
Nice, cool. Well, I guess until next time. Well, actually, you know what? We have Twitter.
Yes, we do have Twitter.
So if you want to hit us up and correct us, tell me why I'm wrong about the X-Men, and how it's so much better than I think it is.
Explain to me how I got the chronology wrong of when any of these things in X-Men history happened.
Tell us why we're right, and how much you love the show.
We prefer that.
Yeah, I'm a fan. And I'd love it if you were too. Hit us up at Geek History Time on the Twitter. I'm personally at Harmony on the Twitter.
And I'm at EH Blaylock on the Twitters.
Yep. So
hit us up there.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. Damian spends a lot of time yelling at the president. It's entertaining.
Yep.
Not always suitable for work.
No.
But entertaining.
Yes.
Much like this podcast.
Well, for A Geek History of Time, I'm Damian Harmony.
And I'm Ed Blaylock. And keep rolling 20s.